Welcome. So glad to see everyone here, your beautiful faces. We've been anticipating this and preparing for you this morning. My name is Callie B. Elwayns. I'm the founder and the curator here at Bold and Visible. It's home to the It's Time to Get Visible Breakthrough program and the one and only Bold and Visible monologues. That's our TED-style stage for transformational women's stories. I'm so excited to be with you. I have read so many of your reflection forms that we had over 100 reflection forms sent in. Powerful. If you just look around this room just for a moment, can you sense the brilliance, the experience, the courage, the resilience that's in this space? Kirsten Garcia is our voice coach and our community engagement leader. And as she was saying, we have women here, women we've never met. Great to meet you. We're going to get to know you today. And we have lots of graduates, alumni from our programs, women who are in our current work. We're incredibly privileged to be here with you. I'm so excited to get started. You're entrepreneurs, leaders, your coaches, your consultants, your speakers, your helping professionals, and you're accomplished women. And no matter where you're at in your journey, I know you're here because you sense a potential right now. You sense a potential in the world, in everything that's happening, and you are longing to step forward into your larger gift. And I call this the 5%. I would say most of us in the room are probably in our 50s, 60s, and even in our 70s. And yet what's so powerful is we are ready to take another step forward. We're not ready to just sit back, right? We are called to something more. So we're all here today to get a taste of our own voice. And you're going to get a taste of the Bold and Visible experience and ignite your highest impact in 2023 and beyond. And I'm really excited this morning that we're going to share with you our soft launch surprise. We have an amazing offer that we're going to share later on this morning with you just for the women inside of this workshop. Today, this workshop is going to be highly experiential. I'm going to share with you the 3 critical visibility shifts that all women need to make to step forward and own their voice and take their gift and their mission into the world in these times. And we're going to take you into some profound, real experiential practices. What I want to say about that is we really do encourage you all to participate, but you're all welcome to be here at whatever level you're at. So come on screen. It's a place to be seen. It's a place to be heard, right? But also if for some reason, for any reason at all, you need to go off screen, you're welcome to do so. We want you to take care of yourself. As Kirsten said this morning, this event is a public event and it is being recorded. Today, it's designed to really give you a taste of our community, a taste of yourself, and a taste of what's possible. Okay. So I'd love to just invite you very briefly to invite us all into a centering and just to come to presence. So we can just, for a moment, sit back in our seat, wherever you're at, and just connect to your body. You might want to slow your breath a little bit. Maybe place a hand on your lower abdomen and let your breath just drop in your hand. And just coming into presence. So a deep awareness of yourself. And we can just let all our busyness and all our worries, just set them aside for a moment. In the work that I bring forward into the world, we really use our body. We use our nervous system. We regulate into a lot of freedom. And when we relax into our body and get present, it allows us to be open to change. It allows us to feel safer. It allows us to engage more with each other. So this morning, just placing your attention on that place that you long to be seen and heard. the place, that space that you want to step into your larger impact. And let's just allow that felt sense to grow a little bit. I know you're here because you have something larger to express. Your voice, who you're divinely here to be, and you don't need to add anything to your life to do that. You've done all that. Today, we're just going to explore what we need to let go of. So just noticing, and let's just notice your width a little bit. So as if you could take up a little more space, as if your energy would take up the whole space of your room. We're coming into community together, so we're going to be aware of ourselves and aware of each other. We're more alike than we are different. And let's just hold a possibility for coming out of this with something powerful beyond what you could have imagined. And that powerful thing is an experience of you. And so committing to participating to whatever level you feel comfortable, but even stepping a little bit maybe out of your comfort zone, being curious and open, because curiosity and openness is what really allows us to grow and change. Being present with what's happening. Why bold and visible? Why now? You all know it. We're entering new territory. The ground is literally shifting beneath our feet. The way we're working, the way we're communicating, the way we're living in this world is changing. And there's an incredible amount of uncertainty right now. Can you feel that? The uncertainty. But there's also a potent amount of possibility. There's possibility. We feel it in our bones. Right now, every single one of us is going over a threshold to a new lived experience. And this can be really disorienting and uncomfortable. It can be uncomfortable to our nervous system, our identity, and also to our long-held expectations for our future. And many of us women, we're going through a threshold as well. We're going into another lived experience because, we're in our 50s, 60s, 70s. Things are changing. We've mastered our life. And yet we're not ready. We're not ready to, go to the beach. Well, we want that. But we're ready to step forward in our life, right? We're being asked to hold the paradox. On the one hand, can you hold all the change that's happening right now, not only in your own life, but on this planet? And the grief and the loss and the uncertainty and the discomfort. While on the other hand, expanding with excitement and curiosity into the uncharted territory, not yet charted territory of your life and what you most long to express and contribute. Because right now, as all the old structures, the old cultural and economic structures are falling away, we're being gifted with the opportunity to finally step onto the stage of our life so that we can give our voice, our gifts, and our talents to shaping and setting the tone for what comes next. If not us, then who, women? Who? We have the kinds of solutions. We have the solutions that are needed. You have the solutions that are needed in these times. We were literally born for this. There's been no more important moment. We're born for this. Yet I found that in spite of being so brilliant and accomplished, many of us still struggle to really own our voice and get visible with our gifts and really step forward out of this sort of a fail to launch or foot on the gas, foot on the brake. In my work with over 1,000 high achieving women, I found there's still 5 things holding women back. These aren't new things. Number 1, fear of taking up too much space and time. What? Number 2, fear of looking like I'm taking all the credit. Number 3, fear of being seen for who I really am. I call that the 5%. All of this is what I call the 5%. It's the last 5% we need to step over. Being seen for who you really are is critical, not just the persona in business, right? Is critical for your success. Fear of being exposed for being a fraud, we know that one. and fear of speaking our truth to power structures. We're at a tipping point. We can no longer afford to dim down, play small, withhold our authentic truth. Did you know that only 4% of female-owned enterprises in the United States earn an annual revenue of more than $1 million? Now, this was a 2021 statistic. I keep saying it, and I need to go and update my statistics, okay? But in 2021, only 4% of all female-owned enterprises earned an annual revenue of 1 million or more. And we know that there are complex and systemic issues underlying that, right? Multiple ones. But what we do know is this: we tend to stand in the shadows behind our business, to step into your next level of contribution. You're going to need to stand in the power and the confidence of your own voice and take much bigger risks, play a much bigger game to get visible and be seen. So let me ask you a question. I'd love you just to take a moment, just to sit back and you can roll your shoulders for a moment. How many of you feel a potential inside of you? Just like a larger potential, it's just a feeling in the body that's so much bigger than where you're currently at right now in your life and your business. Yeah, let's just let ourselves feel that for a moment. So, you can just maybe place your hand on your center, let your breath drop down. And I don't want you to add any structure to it. I just want you to feel the feeling of it. It's a longing, right? I feel it like an ache in my body. It could be just this ache in your body. It's that ache you have when you get up in the morning. It's that ache you have when you go to bed at night. You can just sense there's more for you to express. There's more of you that hasn't been fully expressed. And just let that be as big as it is. We're afraid. We're so afraid. Who am I? What, I should just like my life the way it is. I'm comfortable. Things are good. Or, who am I to think I could be bigger? Right? But we're just letting that be there for a moment. What's at stake, women? What's at stake if we never fully express that? What if we fail to launch this intrinsic divine aspect of ourselves into the world? Right? This part of us. So just today, we're going to pay attention to this part, okay? This longing. Where do you most want to be seen? Where do you most want to be heard? We're going to use this as our compass today to navigate the process, okay? So I want you to allow yourself to feel this. You feel it because it's you. It wouldn't be there. It's not in your mind. It is who you are, all right? It's time to break up the old story and to step out fully expressed as you. So this is the context. We don't have another decade. We don't have another decade. Today, we're going to learn how to take up space and speak our truth with undeniable confidence and ease, no matter if you have been playing a little bit small or hiding an aspect of yourself for decades. And, we are extremely accomplished women. We're going to discover where our voice is locked and how to unleash it. How stress and trauma affect women. And how to connect to our true voice so that we can be alive to the impulsive life in every moment. And the best part is we're going to learn how to do this while we're being joyfully present, comfortable in our own skin. It's time for us to have a little bit of fun around here, right? We've been taking life really seriously, driving really hard. We want to be comfortable in our own skin. How? How do we do that? How do we do that? Okay, so this is the context. It's a powerful time. It's a powerful time in the world, and it's a powerful time for you to step forward. And it's so wonderful because we're going to hear today from women in our community who have done that and who are doing that. This 5% that has been holding us back has just been keeping us safe. We're going to find out today what's been so invested in keeping you from stepping out, and why, after knowing everything you know, you still haven't made that breakthrough. Why, having been brilliant, having all the, the success you've had, and why, after doing all the work, right, we're still lagging back a bit. Who feels that a little bit? Like I've done it all. Right. We've done it all. Let's acknowledge that. I'd like to get started right now with the 3 critical visibility shifts that every woman needs to make in order to help her unleash her voice, embody your story, and really stand forward with your divine mission in the world. I'm just going to change something here on my screen. 1 second. All right. This is really powerful. And the reason why I want to share this with you this morning is because it is going to support us as we go into our practices. Okay. This is the foundation. This is the foundation, really critically, of being bold and visible in the work we do. Okay. So why bold and visible? And why do I care about this so much? Well, I was 13 years old the first time that I stood on that street corner. I was cold. I was hungry. All I wanted to do was hide. I would have done anything to go invisible. I remember thinking to myself, how did I end up here? My memories of the first 6 months on the street were a total jumble, but no matter how bad it was out here, it was nothing compared to what I was dealing with back home. But I wasn't totally alone on the streets either. My friends April and Marcel were watching out for me. We stuck together no matter what. Marcel, he used to think I had some kind of grand mission on my life. He used to say, yo, Callie, you're going to do big things with your life one day. You just promise me, if anything ever happens to you out here, you're going to get up and keep going, no matter what. I used to think I was going to do something with my life. My heart sunk when Big Gina across the street started making a big scene. She's like, yo, skinny girl, I see your little friends are around the corner watching out for you. Well, isn't that sweet? What makes you think you're so much better than us? Newsflash, no one makes it off the street. That was the moment that I decided, no, my life is up to me. I'm going to make it off the street, and I'm going to do something important with my life. Just like Marcel said, don't ask me how I was going to do that. I'm only 13 years old. I have no job. I have no education, and I have nowhere to live. But I felt the potential inside of me that was so much bigger. I was meant for more. That night, I rented a motel room, and I brought a huge bucket of Kentucky Fried Chicken home. Guys, we get to sleep in a real bed tonight. April, no kicking. We didn't talk about how I made that money. If there's one credo on the street, it's that you do whatever you need to do to survive. But we did talk about the future. And Marcel said, Callie, don't listen to Gina. She doesn't know what she's talking about. I believe in you. Cut to 2023. I've spent the last over 2 decades of my career leading high impact companies that are making a real difference on this planet. And I've stepped into leadership in highly political, male-dominated environments very successfully, but my journey was not easy. I struggled with hidden patterns of trauma and shame. And I had unexpected and untenable levels of fear, anxiety, and sometimes even PTSD. And yes, at the height of my career success, as a powerful CEO in the boardroom, making multi-million-dollar decisions, I would see myself dimming down, playing small, and somehow withholding my authentic truth. Who can relate to that, even at the height of your success? So I worked really hard. And I surrounded myself with the best teachers, mentors, and education I could find so that I could cultivate the courage and the skills that were required to play a much bigger game in my life today. That's why I care so much about this. I am dedicated to empowering women like you and me to unleash our voice, embody who we are, and move forward to actually have our bigger impact on this planet, the impact we were born to give, while also calling in an abundant income. And I said it before, and it deserves saying again, there's never been a more important moment, right? When our voices have been needed on this planet, there's never been a more important moment. Yet in spite of being so brilliant and accomplished, many of us still struggle with the courage to stand forward and really speak our truth and to show up with our gifts. What it comes down to is that we are stuck inside of, many of us are stuck inside of chronic invisibility patterns. We're stuck inside of chronic invisibility patterns that limit our potential, and they hold us back from what? Being who we already are. Let me ask you this. I want to take you in just to a reflection moment so we can I invite you just to sit back for a moment, coming out of thinking, coming out of strategizing, and just for a moment feeling into yourself. I'm going to say some words. Let them drop in your body and see what's true, what's not true. Because we're going to work with the body, we're working with the 5% is inside of our soma. So does any of this sound like you? And I want you to know before I say it, I have had all of this. Do you ever feel unseen or somehow deeply unknown at a core level, even though you are an accomplished, competent, and even confident woman, but somehow you feel unknown? Do you ever shrink back and avoid opportunities to be seen and heard, even though you really long to express yourself? Do your accomplishments ever go unrecognized, even though you celebrate and amplify the accomplishments of others? Do you ever feel foggy? This is a good one. Immobilized, frozen, unable to get traction with your gifts in the world, even though you 100% know you have something to do. You have a gift to give. You even know what it is. Or maybe you don't really know what it is, like specifically, but you feel it and somehow you're immobilized from finding it. Yeah? And do you ever feel like maybe there's some kind of hidden flaw or hidden ceiling, your own hidden glass ceiling, inner glass ceiling that you have that's stopping you from making your biggest impact? So you can just stay in this for just a brief moment. We're coming out, right? We're coming out. I have good news for you, because none of these things are the problem and you're not broken. You just haven't yet made the 3 critical visibility shifts. Once you make them, you'll become an unforgettable communicator, a woman who stands in the power of her voice and impact, and becomes a trusted authority in your space, one that people want to follow. You will stand joyfully in your full value so you can finally ask for and receive the monetary abundance you deserve for your transformational products and services. And you will do all of this while feeling joyfully present, here and now, comfortable in your own skin. So we can just come back into the space. So this is what we're heading into, right? To play a much bigger game. And so here's very quickly the 3 critical visibility shifts, and then we're going to take you right into a practice. Number 1, critical visibility shift number 1. We want to identify and release the patterns that are limiting our potential. Okay. Now, let's dig in. We all have hidden power blocks. They're literally wired into our body. Their evolutionary purpose is to keep us safe from exposing ourselves, safe from taking too much risk, safe from being rejected. These nervous system patterns were built over our lifetime through small and large traumas and stresses, daily stresses. These nervous system patterns literally shape us. Literally shape us. They shape who we're being. They shape our identity. They shape our posture, our musculature, the shape of our faces, how we move, how we walk, how we move metaphorically into the world. They shape how we perceive the world, how we interact with it. And guess what? These inner patterns actually shape how life responds back to us. Can you see that? How the world responds back to us. And yes, we can release fully these patterns from our life, but we can't do it the old way. We have to do something else. We have to move beyond the mindset, the positive psychology, and all the other things we have already done, right? Because if you're like me, and women, I know you are, because you're in this room, you are highly accomplished. You are highly credentialed, and you've done all the work. Am I right? You've read all the books. Yeah, I've read all the books. Read all the books. I've taken all the personal and spiritual development. I've taken all the coaching courses. Many of you are skilled elite coaches, right? You've maybe spent years on the mat in spiritual practice. You've also, what have we not done? Yeah, you know your patterns already, don't you? You can name them. Yeah, and most of us have built some pretty nice workarounds, right? We've built some pretty good workarounds. But I'm here to tell you this. You know, some of us at this point in our life are saying, Callie, you know, I just accept myself the way I am. And I just have to work with it. But if you want to cross the 5% and step into who you really are, I'm telling you, it is absolutely required for you to release these patterns once and for all. But we cannot do it the old way. We have to deeply include the body. We have to include what I call our soma, the whole being, including our nervous system, right? We have to work with much deeper and from a different place, because we've been doing it from top down. We've been doing it from our beautiful intellect, from our spiritual side, from our behavioral perspective. And that's gotten us so far, hasn't it? It's gotten us so far, but we've done all that. And so why are we here? Why are we not yet fully expressed? This is it, the 5%, we're coming at it from a different place is required. Now, this is where we get into the good stuff, which is visibility shift number 2, which is the secret sauce. It's the secret weapon of this body of work in the world. And that's this. We must awaken and activate our body. We call this the feminine somatic integration method. Our bodies are so full of intelligence and creativity, but we spend so much time cut off from the deep resources that we have available to us. And that makes sense because we live in a masculine corporate world that values logic and reason above all else. But there's a cost, especially for women. For me, in my high achieving clients and the high achieving women in my community, being cut off from our body has caused us to be stuck in states of force, stress, and overextension, right? We're working hard, we're driving, we're succeeding, we're leading, we're making bank, our KPIs are great. We're starting new things, but we're also exhausted. We're depleted, our endocrine system is crashing. And most importantly, we've disconnected from ourselves. We're disconnected from ourselves and even our community and our families. Who feels that, you know, I can be really successful and somehow still isolated and completely disconnected from what I love. We're drained. Or the opposite, right? We're frozen, contracted, immobilized away from life. We can't seem to generate the dynamic energy that's required to gain momentum with our soul's calling. We can't seem to generate that. So we're living our life half given, and we're sitting here wondering, oh my gosh, is this going to be it? Maybe I'm too old. Maybe, everyone else is doing it. So why, there's no place in the market for me. When we're in these states, we can literally go between these states with one foot on the gas, one foot on the brake, and never get traction in our own life. We're dabbling a little bit, but never get real traction. Who can feel that? One foot on the gas, one foot on the brake. 5 years later, I'm just tipping my toe forward still. It's painful. Being disconnected from our body steals our joy, our feminine presence. It steals our youthful radiance. It steals our influence. It steals our voice. It steals our playfulness, our personal authority, our connection to self and others. It has a huge, huge cost. And over the years, I've discovered that reconnecting to the body through a very specific process where we use our whole deep somatic nervous system, our posture, our voice, our breath, our movement is the most powerful and fun way to move forward and really land into who we are. We call it here creating a platform of somatic safety, on which it's an inner platform of safety, but it's not a platform of safety to stay safe. It's a platform of safety to take risks, to be who we are, to land in who we are. And this kind of change sticks because it isn't just a behavioral, intellectual shift. We shift in our whole body. The bonus from this kind of work, from the work that we do, is we start to look more youthful. We start to relax out of the tension in our physical body. When we somatically come into this sense of our true nature, really, just who we actually are, we become radiant. Our hair starts to shine again. We look younger. Our digestive system starts working. We lose weight. Our posture corrects itself. Our relationships start to get ignited. Like who's been in the space, like of our students, like who feels all of this? And you see each other changing. And that's the amazing thing, to see each other just shifting. But the most important, the thing we're here to do is we're here to find our voice. When we let go of these contractions, your voice will change. The way you speak changes. The truth of who you are comes forward. It's not forced. It's not contracted. It's powerful. And so this work is critically, critically important. Absolutely fun. The biggest thing is we find out who we actually are. And you guys, we don't need any more courses. We need to let go who we're not. It's a massive surrender. The body needs to feel safe, though, to surrender. Does that make sense? Okay. And we're doing this in service to what we're here to do in the world. We're doing this in service to we deserve to be comfortable in our own skin while also making an impact, right? We're here to make an impact, though. And that's the last critical shift that I want to say is this. Women. Critical visibility shift number 3, find a mentor and grow in community. I can't emphasize enough how important for me, finding the right people who knew the way, who've been there before me, who could show me and I could trust, how critical that is, and how surrounding myself in evolutionary community. A community that could uphold me and celebrate me, but also hold me accountable, that had a structure. Right? That had a structure to support me. Because there were times when I wanted to just not do the work. We all have that. There's major resistance in the work that can happen, right? But being surrounded, and today you're going to really, you can even get a taste just looking around this space. Community is critically important. And we have women here who are so dedicated and who have come back to the space here to support new women and women who are in our current programs. That is because it's reciprocity. We get something out of it, right? It builds us up and it supports each other. And we are responsible for generating our own community. So the 3 critical visibility shifts to unleash your voice and really step into your potential, release the patterns that are limiting your potential. They're wired into your body. awaken and activate your body, find a mentor, and grow in community. This is the foundation. This is the foundation of our work and our practice that every one of you can do and needs to do if you are going to step forward. You need to make these 3 shifts in your own life. Clare is in the UK in Somerset. She is an amazing spiritual psychologist, a leader, an entrepreneur, and she's been through an alumni in our program. Clare, share whatever you want, what you're inspired to share with these women about the shifts and what you're doing in the world right now.
First of all, well, ladies, I can't tell you how excited I am to see 114 people on this call. It's just fabulous. And listening to you, Callie, it just brings tears to my eyes, because with who I am today, with who I was when I was first introduced to this program, is that there is no comparison. You know, today my work takes me to a whole new level. You know, I'm what's referred to as a concierge coach. And, you know, when I get to fly in helicopters, stay in five-star hotels in Geneva, it's just, I mean, who? Really? Yes. Because that's who I am. And just really quickly, I really just want to read this out to you. There's a lady I met just 2 days ago, and this is this text she just sent to me, and it brought tears to my eyes. I won't read the whole thing, but just part of it. All that you have achieved and dealt and coped with throughout your life is inspirational, and the hurdles monumental. I was struck throughout the afternoon by your honesty, perseverance, tenacity, and charm, and your ability to focus, and above all, your compassion and love for your fellow man and woman. And I just took a deep breath, and I just went, thank you. And thank you for this program, because it's allowed me to stand and be really authentic with people in a very different way. And I'm just so grateful. And I'm 73, and I got married at 69. And I got married at 69. And I'm a child at heart, you know?
Yeah.
I just started working out with a trainer, for crying out loud, because my muscles need some help.
Right.
I mean, age is irrelevant.
Right. So awesome. Clare said, I know when Clare came in the work, she already was an amazing woman, clearly, right? But there was this aspect that she was not stepping into and owning. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, there was a piece, and you don't mind me saying, related to some embodied shame and some other things, that even though she was a spiritual psychologist and knew all about how to do it and what the patterns were, right? But releasing that.
Yeah, I'm 38 years clean and sober. And part of my story, out of the closet story, is talking about when I stopped drinking when I was 35. And I hadn't realized I had a wall of shame around that. It's very easy to talk about who I am in my recovery world, but in this world, no one knows me, that part of me. And I hadn't realized the wall of shame I had around that. And I was able to walk through it. And I stand in it today as a proud woman, because look what I have achieved. Wow. And if I can do it, you can do it.
Callie, hi.
How are you?
Everyone. Oh gosh, it's so great to be here. And I'm just admiring Janet and Claire's glow, and yours, Callie. I can't wait till my complexion gets like that when I'm at the end of this process, because I'm just right in the middle of it. I'm loving everything about this process. I would just encourage all of you, if you're called to this, oh my goodness, like, just jump in. It is a commitment, and it's worth every second that you put into it, because you'll get tenfold out of it. I came in very successful. I've built 3 multi-million-dollar businesses from scratch that I've owned. 2 of them I've owned for 34 years, and one I owned for 16 years. So I had everything, but there was something for me missing. And I was going to do a TED Talk, and I was interviewing different mentors for that. And then I saw the opportunity to join Bold and Visible, and it's just transformational and life changing. And for me personally, and I'll wrap up with this, is that what I was disconnected from was my sensuality and my sexuality. I'm 64 years old. I'm not married yet, but I am in a relationship after taking 5 years off. So that's really exciting. And my boyfriend's very happy I'm in this, this process. So I can tell you that it's lit up everything in me. And I didn't even know my body was capable of what I'm experiencing from the connection, the release, and the orgasmic Kundalini energy that's running through me that I didn't even know about. So, oh my God.
I love that, Deb, because this is a bonus of what we do when we release the contractions and the somatic withholdings. All of a sudden we have access to our beautiful sensory body, our feminine body. Our body comes back online, and especially at our age, and again, I mean, beautiful woman in her 60s, crazy, right? But we deserve to be online, fully online, enjoying our life. But how does this serve? It really does serve our voice. It serves our business. It serves our mission, right?
Totally.
Incredible. Deb, thank you so much. And thank you for, just being a witness here.
Thank you, Callie.
This is amazing. I can't believe how many smiling faces are here. I'm so happy to be with all of you. It just is so uplifting to see so many people and community around this topic, because there's so much suffering that happens with it. So it's lovely to be in this space with everybody. I guess, as you were talking, Callie, the one thing was coming to me as listening to you say this for the I hear you speaking a lot. Yeah, right. But there's things that come through each time, and listening to it, it's like everything that I wanted in this lifetime really relates back to my ability to alchemize my uncomfortable feelings, right? And if you have or have been conditioned to that inability through trauma or some disconnect, then the growth or your expansion or your evolution is stunted as a result of it. And that it's just unless you do the work to dissolve it, then you can do a million workarounds. I'm the queen of the workaround. I can work around just about anything. But then what ends up happening is I end up with an emotional hangover after I've worked around, where my whole system feels like it's like this, and I have to take time away, and I'm snapping at everybody, and then I'm like, everything feels like total discombobulation. And so since doing some of this work, I have so much less of that. And it doesn't feel like I'm powering through or working around. It feels like a true alchemization of all of the dysregulation. I don't know a better way to say it than that.
Well, that's it. And it's so awesome because Missy, you have a big calling in the world. Missy's an elite athlete. She is
former, Callie. This is very critical. This is
whatever. And a Hall of Famer. So dim it down if you want. She is attorney. She's been a high-level attorney at the NCAA. She is a woman who's done things. She's a trained coach, and she is stepping into her own platform. Thank you very much, everybody, for supporting people through trauma recovery. Okay. And she's exactly positioned to do this. But there is this foot on the gas, foot on the brake, right? Which you just described so beautifully. We need to find our voice and step out. We need to relax out of that. Yeah. Amazing. Amazing. Look at you. You look gorgeous.
Well, thank you. I'll take that. I receive it. Thank you very much.
Oh my gosh, I love listening to all of these wonderful women. I was going to say, after each one of you, I want to say, I want what you have. I want what you have. I want what you have. So this is great. I am 8 weeks into my first program with Callie. I was one of you 3 months ago joining. I saw the words bold and visible, and I said, it's about damn time I get to that point. So I'm doing this, and I am so happy. It's the best intentional decision I've ever made in my life.
Wow.
So that says a lot right there. And I'm really coming into this place where I feel so much more authentic.
Hmm.
I'm my true self. I'm finding my voice, and I have a ways to go. But within the last 8 weeks, I've changed so much. And so much of it does relate back to that somatic work that we're doing and releasing and expressing. And I love that what Callie is doing, and Kirsten is a big part of it, is it's just so beautifully orchestrated. The work that we do, the way we do it, we have each other, we have our peer groups, we have this whole tribe. I didn't know any of these women 8 weeks ago. I feel like they are my best friends, my sisters now. And I wouldn't be able to do this work without them. And it's just incredible. This program has all the feels. It has love, it has abundance, it has joy, it has health, it has orgasms. It has openness and body and mind and spirit, and whatever your belief system in, God too, it's all in here. It's packed in so beautifully. So that's what I've got to say.
That's so amazing, Maureen. And you guys, it's funny because Kirsten and I, we prepare deeply. We're going to head right now into your practice. We prepare so much for you, but we were looking back at the video of our last workshop, and Maureen, you've just it's so amazing to see the blossoming and just who you're stepping into being, and all of that you're bringing.
Thank you.
And you're committed. You are really committed. And that's why it works, right? You're committed. This is the real thing. We have to commit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful.